Hi, I'm Steve, the introverted traveler. I've made it my mission in life to explore the beaches, deserts, mountains, and even cityscapes around us, and to do so while avoiding contact with as many people as possible. And although I will never hang out with you for any reason, I do invite you to join me on my journey. Come and see the world through the eyes of an extreme introvert. On this adventure, we are hiking to the top of Bald Butte, near Mount Hood Parkdale in northern Oregon. Along the way, we will journey through dense forests, take in beautiful wildflowers, and dodge people long enough to enjoy breathtaking views. All this and much more on this Introverted Travels. Greetings, and I'm back yet again on yet another adventure. And today it is bright, it is sunny, and the weather surprisingly is not sucking. Now, of course, this being the introduction to the video, it's the first few seconds of the video that anyone sees when they click onto the video itself. So as a creator, I need to get a hook. I need to put the most interesting, eye-catching thing I can right up front, so people will be like, well, this is interesting. I'm definitely gonna watch this. So what's more interesting than me talking about the weather? Indeed, we have reached the point in spring where it's beginning to head towards the end of spring. This is the beginning of the end. The frozen tundra of the Pacific Northwest has started to thaw. Dirt has started to emerge once again. Flowers have sprouted. Trees are blooming, and the temperature is now above freezing. So, given those favorable conditions, I am out once again in the glorious, wonderful, beautiful, and only like an hour from my house, Mount Hood Wilderness, on my way to the top of something called Bald Butte. I mean, I am a Bald Butte, obviously, so it's fitting that today's hike I'm going to something called Bald Butte, and that whole Bald Butte thing, I'm pretty sure that I can milk that through the entire video, so you have that joke to look forward to like 90 times. But according to the atrocity of the season, that is all trails, this particular hike is about 8.5 miles long. Now, it may be 8.5 miles, it's out and back, so it might be 8.5 miles out and back. All trails on occasion gets things right, but let's face it, all trails hardly ever gets the trail conditions right. It hardly ever has maps that are correct. Most of the maps that All Trails uses and maps its hikes onto are from probably the late 19th. I think they were actually from the Nixon administration, so you don't exactly get accurate information. And it just has a general track record of being terrible. So it could indeed be that this is an 8.5 mile hike, or it could be an 85-mile hike. Now, why is there such a range in All Trails' ability to predict how long and how far and the conditions of the trail? Well, the answer to that is simple, and everybody knows it, and you should take your shot now, or say it with me, or fill out your bingo card, or whatever you do during this part of the video. But it's because All Trails sucks. But you don't need me to tell you that All Trails sucks. All Trails sucks so badly that it is literally hardwired in our genetics. Our DNA from the beginning of time has predisposed us to understand and know that All Trails sucks. That's how bad All Trails is, and that's how badly it sucks. But you don't tune into these videos to hear about how much All Trails sucks. No, you tune into these videos to hear me bitch, moan, and complain about what's going on at the trailhead. Well, today, when I got to this particular trailhead, there was one car. One car. It was a truck, actually, but if you do the introverted math, 4 people per vehicle times 1 vehicle, not counting mine, of course, and that's a potential of 4 people on the trail. However, since I've been hiking in the past half an hour or so, I've already run into a trail runner. And yes, I'll spare you the whole diatribe about trail runners, because I pretty much do a diatribe about trail runners in every video. So if you really want to hear my opinion about trail runners, just go watch like my last 50 videos. So I've already witnessed that Freudian nightmare out here on the trail, and there have already been 3 other people. So my solitude has already been shattered. My happiness has already been drained. My heart has already been crushed. And oh yeah, there's a giant volcano. There's a giant volcano right there. But forget about how beautiful it is. I'm trying to have a diatribe about how there's people out here and it's awful. So yeah, this is what we're doing today. We're out in beautiful Mount Hood wilderness. There's a giant volcano behind me. I've already seen a bunch of people and I'm already frothing at the mouth and running down the trail, bitching, mooning, and complaining. So it's gonna be one of those Sundays. And I don't think I need to prolong the introduction section any further beyond that. You already know the weather is great, and we had a pretty long diatribe about the weather. You already know that all trail sucks, but that's a given. And you know that there's so many people out here that they've literally turned me into a rabid animal. I mean, I am frothing at the mouth like that Saint Bernard in that really bad Stephen King adaptation of Cujo. That's how bad it is so far. There's so many people, well, there's like 5, but there's so many people to me that I'm already comparing myself to a rabid Saint Bernard. There's really nothing else I can say beyond that. That's where we are today. That's what we're doing. And that's where the rants are leading me. This is kind of cool and kind of terrifying at the same time. So there's a flower. Okay, I guess that's cool, but no, that's not what's terrifying. No, what's terrifying is that I have Chat GPS on my phone, and I have allowed some type of artificial intelligence to infiltrate the same device that I use to watch cat videos and guys getting kicked in the nuts. So Skynet, the possible future, is on my phone. And well, I'm terrified of everything, but that's scary. But what's really cool is I took a picture of that. I uploaded the picture to Chat GPT, the app on my phone, gave it my location, and it says, given you're in the Mount Hood wilderness in Oregon, it strongly supports that this is indeed the arrowleaf balsam root. So I would just call that, like, I don't know, a sunflower or something yellow. You know how specific I am. But with the use of technology, specifically artificial intelligence, that is eventually going to become sentient and kill all of us. But before the singularity happens and we all die, Chat GPT has correctly identified, well, I'm assuming correctly, all I see is flower. That's my diagnosis. That thing right there, that's a flower. But more specifically, Chat GPT has identified it as the arrowleaf balsam root. So yeah, there you go. Maybe I don't need to come prepared to the wilderness because I've got technology. I can literally do my preparation as I'm hiking. And there you go. I have used what will eventually be the downfall of humanity to identify a pretty yellow flower. You gotta love technology. I mean, it is in the end gonna kill us all, but in the meantime, let's use it to figure out what's going on in the world around us. And according to Chat GPT, I was correct. That's a flower. All right, continuing our tour of the floral world, since that's basically all that I'm experiencing right now. I mean, I saw some people earlier, but all I'm doing is, I'm just hiking up a mountain. I have asked Chat GPT to identify more flowers, so I'll actually sound intelligent for once and not just go, hey, look, pretty. According to the future Skynet, the future destroyer of all humanity. That is Indian paintbrush, although it's a specific title. Let me, I swear, even when I'm prepared, I'm not prepared. Let me go back to the right thing. No, that's the text messages. No, that's, where the hell is it? So, more specifically, it is the giant red paintbrush flower, and there's a actual scientific name that goes with it, but since I butcher, I think I butchered just saying giant red paintbrush, that was bad enough, so I'm not going to go with the scientific name, but yeah, that is a giant red paintbrush. And this other flower I actually can identify myself because occasionally, very rarely, but occasionally I do gain some knowledge and actually remember something. And, well, that's a lupin. And I know that because they're literally everywhere. Lupins are the herpes of the natural world because they grow everywhere and they never go away. But yeah, that's how this hike is going so far. We got the mountain that I've seen a million times. I mean, yes, it's pretty, but I've literally seen that thing a million times. But we've got big yellow flowers, we've got purple flowers, we've got red flowers. And amazingly, they all have actual names. That's the giant red paintbrush, that's the lupin, and that can't even remember what that is. It's the arrowroot something something. Check in the last video, I said it there. There's flowers everywhere. I had the attention span of a beagle, and we've seen that mountain a lot. Well, it took less than 2 miles for Oregon to once again default back into being Oregon and put me right in the middle of the forest. And I would use ChatGPT to identify the trees that I see, but I'm pretty sure it would just tell me boring. I mean, boring, 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 because I'm always in the forest. I'm always in the forest surrounded by what most people would think is absolute beauty and spectacle, but if you're in the forest as much and as often as I am, it's just boring. I don't need our future overlord, the AI on the ChatGPT app, to tell me that it's boring. There's moss, there's bark, there's needles. There's not even leaves, it's just needles everywhere. As far as the eye can see, needles from here all the way up to the Canadian border. Yeah, it's just needles, green, occasional ferns, and trees. This is the 3rd video I have made in a row here about plants, and this should go as a lesson to those of you who keep telling me that I need to go off trail and get away from places where people are so I stop complaining. If I did that, literally every video would be this. It would be me. It would be tree talk. It would be tree, flower, moss, and fern talk. All green all the time. As much as I despise humanity, as much as I don't like you and you and you, and especially you way there in the back, I don't like you either. But as much as I despise all of humankind, I unfortunately, to make entertaining, somewhat entertaining to me, videos, I've got to be miserable. And the only way that I can be miserable, the only way that I can activate whatever lunacy lies inside my skull, is to be around people. It's like the superhero's dilemma. You get these great superpowers, but the superpowers are slowly killing you inside. I'm around people and I can make these wonderful, marvelous, award-winning and brilliant rants, but at the same time, it poisons my soul and crushes my heart. But it's still more entertaining and healthier than whatever the hell I'm doing out here talking to trees. There's a tree there, there's a tree there, there's a tree there, oh, there's some bushes over there. Yeah, I'm sorry, but the entertainment value in that is pretty fleeting. Even if I use 1,000 different AIs to identify every single plant, and I mean, I'd just be identifying plants. That's not for me. That's not the type of entertainment I want to make. No, I don't want to do plant talk. I want to whine, bitch, moan, and complain, and rag on the rest of humanity because I'm a weirdo and that's what I do. But yeah, currently, however, I'm in the middle of the woods. I'm just going to continue ranting at the trees for a while, but I'll do it as I walk up the trail. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this is my gift and my curse. I despise people, but it's still better than me talking about plants. We've made it to the thing that All Trails has so helpfully labeled as signage. I mean, if it didn't put that little black dot on the map with that term signage, I would have no idea. I wouldn't know. I would think that this is another tree. I would have to use ChatGPT to identify that that's a sign. But oh no, All Trails, being our savior in the woods, has come to our aid and has correctly identified a sign. And actually, more specifically, and beyond that stupidity, we are now about to hit the Surveyor's Ridge Trail, which unfortunately is one of those ridiculous multi-use trails that they allow mountain bikers on. So basically, I'm about to take my own life in my hands as I venture down a trail that bikers will probably be coming at me going maybe Mach 1, Mach 2. I don't know. I don't know how fast the bikes are going these days, but I'm pretty sure time and space are going to be distorted in their wake as they come past me. And I guess there's also ATVs and off-highway vehicles that use this trail as well, but this should take us all the way up to the summit of Bald Butte. So you get to go see Bald Butte with a Bald Butte. I told you that bad joke was going to come back to haunt you. So there you go. It's either watching me identify flowers or hearing that ridiculous joke repeated like 5 times. But yeah, so there's dangerous predators on this trail, aka the mountain bikers. But you know, I'm on a trail that the mountain bikers are going to claim is their trail, because mountain bikers claim that every trail is their trail. Having had a few viral videos where I tell mountain bikers they're idiots, I have talked to quite a few mountain bikers now, and I know from these one-sided conversations where I actually type something coherent and they bang their fists into the keyboard. So I know from these conversations that mountain bikers claim that they have literally built every single trail in existence. The trail that Lewis and Clark used to get to the West Coast, that was built by mountain bikers. The Oregon Trail, also built by mountain bikers. And every trail since then has been built by mountain bikers. That in their warped and distorted bro brain, they believe that they built this trail. They've built the trail that I was just on. They probably built the highway that led up to the trail. They think they've built it all. And so to them, that justifies their ability to be on whatever trail they want, to go literally as fast as they want, to the point where some of them are literally going back in time now, because that's how fast they're going. And to demand an occasional hiker sacrifice and their ability to smash into a hiker, to pull that body into the forest and to consume that body and the soul, because they figured that is a gift from the hikers to the mountain bike community, because the mountain bike community literally built not only the trail, but the mountain that the trail was found on. That's the sort of distorted, warped thinking that I am seeing from the mountain bike community. And that is who is out here on this trail. So yeah, this is used by ATVs and mountain bikers, and pray for me. I mean, that's really all I can say. I'm going to go to this Bald Butte summit, but pray for me, because there are predators out here, and they got little spandex outfits on, and they've got really expensive, stupid bikes, and they're going 9,000 miles an hour, and they're coming. Well, we've pretty much seen this coming all the way up as we've been hiking, but once again, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary pals, I present to you Mount Hood, which is apparently the tallest peak in Oregon, and also the most stuck up and conceited peak in Oregon. I mean, look at that thing. That thing looks like it went to a rich prep school. It looks like it has a yacht, and it looks like it voted for Trump. But yeah, this is actually a different side to it. So I'm on the Hood River side. For most of you out there, that will mean absolutely nothing, because you don't know Northern Oregon, which is completely fine. But needless to say, I'm usually on the other side of the mountain. So I'm on the Timberline Lodge side. And we've talked about that lodge quite a bit. So, which means that I was coming in a different direction from Portland. But the way I came today is through the gorge and down through Hood River, and thus I get the beautiful other side. I don't know, that's the south side, north. Again, I don't know anything about anything. All I know is that Mount Hood is right now covered in snow. It is absolutely beautiful. The weather is actually nice today. It is warm, it's a little bit breezy, and it's clear enough that you could see the conceited, stuck-up, rich volcano sickle right in front of me. And then, you know, over to the right, you see the valley below. There's all sorts of wineries and farms and all sorts of stuff that goes on down there. There's fruit stands that are probably incredibly expensive because they're all that stuff's growing right next to the conceited rich volcano, highest point in Oregon. So it thinks it's better than all the other volcanoes. I mean, I don't like that mountain because it's kind of a bastard, but at the same time, I mean, it is pretty. I'll give it that. So yeah, this is where I am today. Mount Hood right in front of me. Got the beautiful forest that I ranted all the way through that forest. I ranted there, and I came up that ridge over there, and I ranted some more, and then I ranted over there, and I ranted some more there, and now I'm ranting out here in the open. So there you go. But yeah, this is where I am today. We got the beautiful volcano, the beautiful valley, and of course, the beautiful Introvert. And I don't know exactly where I'm going, but I think I'm almost there. So let's go figure out where the hell we are. And then we can look at the volcano some more, because it is pretty, isn't it? Hi, Mount Hood. Unfortunately, the mountain bikers have shown up on this shared trail, and now I'm literally scared for my life. I'm prepared at any second just to jump out of the way and jump into the bushes, because a mountain biker can't be bothered to work the little handle and actually slow down. So yeah, this could be the last video I ever make. I may be dying out here today. I may be smashed, and my body, my large, rotund, studly and muscular body, may become a snack for a cannibalistic, vampiristic mountain biker. All because the Forest Service tries to make us share the trail and doesn't give mountain bikers their own trails where they can act like maniacs and idiots in the wilderness, and hikers their own trails where we can be safe, sane, and happy. But yeah, I've already had 2 mountain bikers pass me, and I'm sure there's more coming. They usually travel in packs, so when I hear their hunting cries, I will run as fast as I can, which is basically waddle as fast as I can, and I will hide. In fact, I'm like standing right in the middle of the trail, so I'm gonna get going. But yeah, there's dangerous predators out here today, and they're wearing weird outfits, and they're riding mountain bikes. Well, I think I'm experiencing the full hell that this hike has to offer, because I didn't realize this, because of course I do no prep and I didn't look at the map. There's a parking lot like right down there, and there's a road access. I saw the 2 bikers that passed me. They were sitting on a bench, cleaning off their fangs, waiting for their next victim. So that was terrifying. Now there's ATVs, there's a dirt biker down there. There's a road that goes down there. This is the problem with multi-purpose trails. Basically, I'm a pedestrian. There's people in motorized killing machines. There's people in vampire-powered killing machines, aka mountain bikes. And there's some angry, hungry vampires down there just cleaning their fangs, waiting for their next victim. So again, this could very well be my death. This could be the end of me. But yeah, I'm not even, I start this video, I'm on the other side of the butte, where I'm aimed at the electrical towers and the clear cutting and the road, and not the volcanoes, which are literally, I can see, well, there's Mount Hood right there, but they're on the other side. So I'm not ranting on the scenic view side of the mountain. No, I'm over here talking about service roads and vampires and motorbikers and whatever the hell else I'm talking about. But yeah, that's what's going on out here today. Certain death. Other trail users they're probably gonna kill me. I'm gonna get run over, I'm gonna get dragged in the woods, and I'm gonna get eaten. I made it up to the top of the really steep dirt trail. There was nobody around until I got to the peak. This, once again, is my theory that you could be alone in the woods for 10 hours all by yourself and not see a soul. But the minute you get to the cool thing, and I'll show you the cool thing in just a minute, they appear. Well, in this particular case, there's trails and roads on both sides of the mountains, unfortunately. So the access that I came up was just one of the ways to get up here. And so there are people. But check this out. Of course, we already saw Mount Hood. We've seen Mount Hood. So we're gonna keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Of course, there is the beautiful Hood River Valley area. There's wineries out there. There's farms. There's overpriced fruit stands. There's the highway that I came in. I'm like giving you an entire tour of my morning. There's the highway I came in. I'm parked somewhere over there. I ranted in the forest over in that direction. And unfortunately, there's people over there. But once again, we have Mount St. Helens in front of us. Mount Adams, I've seen it. It's literally right where my finger is, right there. But it's obscured by trees. The Forest Service didn't get the memo that I was coming, so they didn't cut down the proper trees. I mean, Trump wants to cut down every tree in the forest, but he missed the one that was obscuring Mount Adams. He's going to cut everything else down and make it ugly and destroy the environment and all that stuff. That's a given. It's Republicans in power. That's a given. But unfortunately, I can't see my favorite volcano, which is Mount Adams. And of course, behind Mount Adams in the distance would be Mount Rainier. But at least we got Mount St. Helens. Well, of course, we got Mount Hood, but and that's like, every day. And literally, I can see that from my house. That's Mount Hood. Yay. Well, nothing's more unpleasant than hiking almost 5 miles, coming up to a beautiful scenic point and seeing other humans. But alas, it is what it is. And I can rant and rave and bitch and complain and moan. And trust me, don't worry, I will. But I've made these rants like a billion times, and it's not getting any better. You people just keep producing more humans. I've just passed where the turnaround point is, and there's Mount Hood in the distance, and I am headed in that direction. So I am headed back to my car. But don't worry, the journey's not over yet. I'm sure I've got plenty to complain about all the way down the mountain. So all will be well. There will be whining, there will be bitching, there will definitely be moaning, and there will be complaining. And there's two dirt bikers over there. I don't know what they're talking about, but when I passed them, they said something about how the outdoors just keep getting bigger or something like that. I don't know about the asinine conversations that people have out here, but it's annoying. And so I'm gonna go back to my car. The outdoors is getting bigger in this direction because that's where my car is. So let's follow that and let's go. I love it when I get to do this. So I was up there, and actually, technically, let me shift over to the right just a few feet here. Over, keep going. I was also up there. So you get to see that I did double duty awesomeness today. I was right now. Hang on, let me shift back over. And there's a lot of choreography that is required for some of these videos. So let me shift back over away from these trees. So I started right there. I started on that hill. That was the first hill. So there's a parking lot right over there, because I can see the electrical towers, and right there is where the motorbikes were coming down and going vroom, and polluting the atmosphere and destroying the environment and basically being horrible assholes. But that's every trail user these days. So, and then I got up. I gotta go back this direction again. Choreography. And then I got up to that peak, and there were two other douchey dirt bikers standing there. And I'm pretty sure that they had a beer, but I'm not totally sure. They had a can of something. May have been soda. It may have been motor oil for all I know. Logically, in my mind, they were there to ruin the environment and to ruin my solitude and my happiness. So, yeah, of course, they were probably drunk. But I have absolutely no idea. It could have been, that disgusting V8 tomato juice that people drink for some reason. It could have been that. They could have been V8 drinking dirt bikers, for all I know. But I do know for a fact that they were right there. So I went up there and I looked around and I tried to avoid them, and I heard them saying that the outdoors keeps expanding, or whatever the hell they were talking about. When you're a little drunk off your V8, you say some weird things, especially when you're out there in nature. So I went over a little bit more, and I did my ooh and my ah, but I did it right up there. That's where I was. So yeah, that's what I did today. And now I'm down here. So I was up there, but now I'm down here. And luckily, the hike is starting to wind down. There's no more loud dirt bikers. I doubt highly there's going to be any mountain bikers, but technically they can be on this trail, so I could die at any given minute. And I'm just headed back down the mountain to my car. I just wanted everybody to know how hard I worked today, because I was up. Hang on, I got to go back this way again, because, hiking trail choreography. I was there, and gotta go this way, one more, a little bit more. Okay, there we go. And then I was there, and it was strenuous. So there's really no reason for this video other than I wanted to tell you how hard it was to get up there. I wanted to trash on dirt bikers, I wanted to trash on mountain bikers, and I wanted you to see my cute little trail dance as I go back and forth trying to get the best shot. I mean, really, I've been meandering in the forest for like an hour. This was to be expected. I mean, I have nothing else to do, and I'm bored. All right, so according to the app that was voted most flushable in 2025, all trails, I have under a mile left before I'm at the trailhead again, and thus under a mile left before, of course, I'm at my car and I'm able to get into my car and I'm able to say goodbye hiking for the week, and then I'm able to go home and I'm able to say goodbye people for the week, and I'm able to lock myself in my house and I'm able to not come out again until next Sunday. So, given that, I think it is time for us to do our trail rating. Now, of course, we rate our trails on an introversion scale, and that scale goes from 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst possible scenario for an introvert, and that is Disneyland on the 4th of July. And that is a time in which all chaos has reigned supreme. The literal law of physics is no longer applicable within the park. The mascots have come to life. They have attacked the tourists. Black holes have formed and have sucked in the Matterhorn and Big Thunder Mountain, and there are literally aliens attacking Space Mountain. So all the mountains are under siege in Disneyland on the 4th of July. Not only that, I mean, there's people screaming, there's children begging their parents to get them $50 cookies and $9,000 churros. And that $9,000 churro line, well, that line literally, it's all the way to San Diego. So that is to say that it's loud, it's obnoxious, and it is everything an introvert dreads. It is literally introverted hell. But contrast that with a 10 on the scale, and that is just you alone in the middle of a field in Antarctica with not another human soul, and only your monstrous, genetically modified, and sentient army of flesh-eating penguins. They will never harm you because they see you as their leader. But if any other humans come near, the waddling will be bloody. oh yes, the waddling will be bloody. But at the same time, you're protected from being around anybody else. So you've got solitude, happiness, security, love, all the good things that an army of human-eating sentient penguins can bring you. And that represents what I call introvert heaven or introvert nirvana. And that indeed is a 10 on our scale. So from 1 to 10 on that incredibly stupid and ridiculous and getting, I gotta say, it's just getting dumb. I mean, I've had to talk about that scale so many times for so long that I'm literally just like making it the most absurd thing I can make. And it's gonna get worse. Eventually I'm gonna get tired of Disneyland and Antarctica, and I'm just gonna start making up like Planet Zip Zorp and Planet Zoop Zop or something like that. It's coming, just expect it. But on that ridiculous scale, I'm gonna put today's hike at about a 2.5 to a 3, because although there have been large sections in which there was solitude and happiness and there was hardly anybody around, there were still lots and lots of people, especially when you got up towards the peak and figured out that there's a whole other parking lot and a whole other access road up there, and it just pours the people in. But not only people, mountain bikers and dirt bikers. It was loud, it was obnoxious, and I literally feared for my life pretty much the entire time. Of course, I fear for my life regardless of what's going on the trail, but we're gonna just play it up this time and just lower the rating. So we're gonna give the trail a 3. And there's somebody who is far behind me, and I'm pretty sure they're catching up, so I'm trying to zoom through this. That leads us to the misery index. Scale of 1 to 5, measure my own misery. 1 is a complete pipe dream because it's no misery whatsoever. And of course, if you've viewed me for even more than 2 seconds, you know I am the most miserable man in this or any other universe. And of course, that means that I'm miserable to one degree or another at all times. But that goes up to a 5, which is the most miserable you could ever be. And unfortunately, most of the hikes and most of the time, I completely smash that 5. And I'm so miserable, the scale would literally need to be measured at 5 quadrillion to accurately reflect the amount of misery that I'm suffering from. Today, there was some terrible misery at the summit because, as I mentioned, there were mountain bikes and dirt bikes, and there were people, and there were cars. But for the most part, I've been in my zone of about 2.5. That's usually my average because, again, there have been large pockets of solitude and silence, punctuated, however, with awful. So, given that, that's where we are on the scales today. It's a 3 for the trail rating. It's about a 2.5 right now for the misery index, and 5 quadrillion in the really bad parts of the hike, which were the parts where I saw other human beings. But speaking of that, there's another human being behind me somewhere, and I don't want that person to catch up with me. So I'm gonna zoom down to my car, and I'll get you on the way out. All right, so according to the whole and logic and reason that is indeed all trails, I have less than a quarter of a mile until the trailhead, and thus less than a quarter of a mile until my car, and until I can get into my car, and until I can go, yippee, I'm in my car, and until I can burn rubber onto the highway, and etc., etc. You know the spiel. But that means that it is time for us to bid our farewells. But before we do that, let's do a quick recap. Today, your Bald Butte was out on the Bald Butte Trail going to the summit of Bald Butte. But basically, that summit was a multi-purpose trail that had a bunch of dirt bikes and mountain bikes and hikers and everything else on it. But along the way, we got to see some beautiful spring flowers. We got to see some of the dense, beautiful forests. We got awesome weather, and you had awesome company along the way because I was here, of course. But enough of that. What all that means is that it is time for me to say goodbye to all of you. And it is also time for me to say, stay introverted, everyone. And of course, I'll see you in the next adventure.